just a short little video for my friend who's new to the car scene and he really needs a new rotor arm in his distributor. So I'm just going to go through how to change the rotor arm. Nice and simple, but if you've never done it before it can be a bit sort of, what's the word, challenging, you know, if you've not done that before, a bit worrying. So I'm just going to go through it now and hopefully make his life a bit easier. So here's a rotor arm. This is Peggy's old one. This brass piece here, this needs to be clean. So you can see this one's got a bit of a dirty end on it. So if you've taken your rotor arm out and you've noticed it looks a bit dirty and it should be shiny, just grab a bit of old sandpaper. I've got an old piece here which is 240 grit. It doesn't really matter what grit it is, you just want to give it a little clean so it's nice and shiny on the end. Clean the dirt off that way. But obviously if you've bought a new one you won't need to do this. And then I would give this a little scuff up on top. And just clean it all up. Get all the dirt off. So you want it nice and shiny. Lovely, that's going to conduct electricity really well. And then in here, just make sure that's nice and clean. You know, get some WD-40's alright on a cloth and just spray it in there, clean it up. So that's ready to go in the car if I want to. I could clean it a bit more, but that's fine. Again, I would probably get a bit of WD-40 on a cloth and just wipe it over, make sure you got rid of any dust. So here we are under the bonnet of my Austin Allegro. It's an A-series engine. This is a 1300, but the distributor is still in the same location as any of the transverse A-series. The Allegro is nice and easy to get to because there's loads of space down here. So this is the distributor. This is the distributor cap, and these are the HT leads that come off of it. Do not remove any HT leads. If you do, like say you're replacing the leads, just replace them one at a time, because you do not want to mix up where they go, because if you mix them up you will mix up the timing and you don't want to do that. So to replace the rotor arm we haven't got to remove these leads, we don't need to touch the leads. We need to get the cap off because the rotor arm's inside the cap. These two little clips here, one there and one there in the sun, they need to be removed to get the cap off. So to remove it, you should be able to just do that on both sides, and then the cap becomes loose and you can move it out the way, and you can see there's the rotor arm. But if your car is being stubborn and you can't flick them off, I click them back on with one hand. If you can't flick them off like that, you can get a screwdriver in there and just flick it off that way. And then that makes it loose. And I say then you can just sort of flop that out of the way and you can't get that wrong. That's the rotor arm. That just pops off. Oh, there it is. I'm actually really surprised mine isn't red. I thought it was red, but never mind. So let's put you here. So when replacing the rotor arm, right, you need to make sure really that the length is right. If it's too long, it's going to scrape on the cap. Now, to my mate, who I'm doing this video for, I know his rotor arm looks completely different. It's a really sort of old-fashioned style one. I'm pretty sure as long as this metal bit is the same length from the middle to the end, it will fit. And also the one to watch for is the hole, because I've seen some that are for a different distributor have got a smaller hole, but this one's absolutely perfect. This will fit no problem. Yeah, I might as well fit that, haven't I? Because this is an old black one. So to fit the new rotor arm, it's got a little divot in there, which lines up with a divot there. So that just pushes straight on, and you can wiggle it like that. That's fine. So if I pull it off again, if I put it on that way, that's not going on, it's not feeling right, you know? You shouldn't have to force it. It won't go on any way other than the way it should. And you'll feel it if you keep fiddling. Eventually it'll feel right, and it will want to click on like that, you know? You want to make sure that there's not really any of this silver shaft showing, yeah? Because you need to get it on there properly. You can't just leave it on the end like that and hope for the best, because it'll fall off. You need to make sure it's down properly like that. And then what I do is, while I'm in here, I have a look inside the cap. And I've done hundreds and hundreds of miles, so you can see there's a bit of sort of like swarf really, or dust in here. I would get a cloth and clean that off. And if you look at these in here, these are shiny contacts. These are what that little rotor arm sends a spark to. So I would just make sure these are clean. You can get the sandpaper in there, and you can give those a little scrub if they look a bit dirty. But these all look quite clean, so I'm going to leave them alone, and I'm just going to get a cloth and wipe the dust out. Okay, the dust is all wiped out. I would just check if you've got electronic ignition like this, just check the leads all look happy in there and they're not damaged in any way. They all look good. So to put the cap back on, I'm left-handed, so put this hand in. To put the cap back on, you need to sort of wiggle it so it feels like it's in properly, if that makes sense. And it will always feel loose, because that's what the little clamps are for, to hold it in. Sorry about my dodgy camera. Feel that? That's sort of comfortable there. So obviously you'll have two hands, so you need to hold it in place, and then you can click that over. And then you need to do the same with the other side as well. Hold it in place and click that over. Just click it into place so it sits in the little divot in there. And that's it. I mean, it might feel a little bit wobbly if you do that, but it's fine. It's clipped on there. Job's a good one. Thanks for watching.